Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome to lesson number 9 of Qassasun Nabiyeen, or the stories of the prophets, by Sheikh Abul Hasan Ali Nadwi rahmatullah alayh. So in this lesson we're continuing the story of Ibrahim alayhi salam, and the title of the lesson is Da'watu Ibrahima. Okay, so Da'watu would be mudaf and Ibrahima would be mudaf ilayh. And as we learned before, Ibrahim is a foreign name, so it's mamnu min as-sarf, meaning it doesn't fully decline. And so Ibrahimu, Ibrahima, Ibrahima. So this is in the jar state, even though it looks like it's in the nasab state. Da'wah to Ibrahim, so the translation would be the calling of Ibrahim, okay, or the da'wah, like we use it a lot nowadays, da'wah, okay, of Ibrahim alayhi salam, what he used to call to. ودعا إبراهيم قومه إلى الله ومنعهم من عبادة الأصنام قال إبراهيم لقومه ما تعبدون. So Ibrahim alayhi salam is talking to his people, and this is after he was thrown into the fire and all those things happened. So now they saw, the miracles happen, and so now he's still going to call them or continue to call them. So what did he say, or what did he call to? So Ibrahim called his people to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, ilallah, to Allah. وَمَنَعَهُمْ, and he prevented them, or he stopped them, min ibadatil asnami, from the worshipping of idols, okay, or of the idols. قال إبراهيم لقومه, Ibrahim said to his people, ما تعبدون, what do you worship? They said, قالوا نعبد أصناما, they said, we worship idols, right? Asnaman, it's nakira, it's something that we don't know exactly because of the tanween, it shows that, right? It didn't say al asnama, but asnaman. Okay, so there's a difference. The next thing it says, قال Ibrahim, so Ibrahim alayhi salam, he responded, or he said, هل يسمعونكم إذ تدعون? Okay, so when you call them, basically, okay, or when you ask them, do they respond to you? Okay, or can they actually, yasma'un means do they listen, right? Do they listen to you all? So when you ask or when you call. أو ينفعونكم أو يضرون, or do they benefit you all, or do they harm you all? Okay, or can they harm, right? So do they harm you all, or do they benefit you all at any or at all? Or yadurrun, or do they harm? Okay, so of course he's trying to use logic again and using the same arguments as that he used before to try to make them think outside their box. Okay, so we know that they don't listen, okay, when they call on them. They know that, and the people know that they cannot, give them any type of benefit, okay, nafa, and they can't even harm them in any way. So Ibrahim alayhi salam basically using this logic, like, okay, hey, why are you still worshipping these idols? So what did they say? قالوا بل وجدنا آباءنا كذلك يفعلون. Okay, they said, rather, or but, وجدنا, we found our fathers, our forefathers, or our ancestors, كذلك, like that. Okay, they were doing like this, يفعلون, they were doing like this. So we found our forefathers doing this, and so we just continued the, you could say, habit or the trend of doing shirk. قال Ibrahim, so Ibrahim alayhi salam said, فأنا لا أعبد هذه الأصنام. He says, so I do not worship these idols. Okay, like basically I haven't followed the trend, so you could be like me pretty much, right? So لا أعبد هذه الأصنام, I don't follow these idols. بل أنا عدو لهذه الأصنام, rather I am an enemy, okay, to these idols. So I don't even follow, I'm not only not following them, but I'm, you could say, an adu to them, I'm an enemy towards them, meaning I hate them. أنا أعبد رب العالمين, I am I worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, okay, the Lord of the worlds, okay, or the universe. الذي خلقني فهو يهدين, he is the one who, or the one who, خلقني, he created me, فهو, and then he, يهدين, he guided me, يهديني. Okay, so the ya over here is dropped, okay, it would be يهديني and it would have the ya at the end. However, sometimes what happens is the ya gets dropped and it leaves a kasra on the noon. Okay, so don't be deceived by that. It would be yahdini, meaning he guided me, or he guides me actually, because it's mudari, it's present tense. So the one who created me, and the one who and then he guides me. وَالَّذِينَ هُوَ يُطْعِمُنِي وَيَسْقِينِي, and the one who he feeds me. أطعم يطعم. Okay, so this is form 4. It's mazid fi. It's not the regular three, just base 3 letters, but it's adding to that. أطعم يطعم. So والذي هو يطعمني ويسقين. So the one who feeds me, ويسقيني, and gives me drink, basically quenches my thirst. وإذا, and the same thing over here, ويسقيني, so quenches my thirst. Okay, ni, the ya is dropped again over here. وإذا مرضت فهو يشفيني. Okay, and when I am sick, or when I fall sick, فهو يشفين, he cures me. والذين يميتني ثم يحييني. Okay, and the one who causes me to die and then resurrects me, or gives me life. Okay, so you could say this is referring to sleep. So when we go to sleep, it's a type of death, and then when you wake up, you're alive again. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives us death and life. Or you could even talk about it from the hereafter's perspective, where he causes us to all die, and then we'll all be resurrected. He will give us life once again in the akhirah. وَإِنَّ الْأَصْنَامَ لَا تَخْلُقُ وَلَا تَهْدِي. And indeed, the idols, لَا تَخْلُقُ وَلَا تَهْدِي, they do not create. Okay, they can't create, pretty much. وَلَا تَهْدِي, and they do not guide. وَإِنَّهَا لَا تُطْعِمُ أَحَدًا وَلَا تَسْقِي. And indeed they, okay, ha is referring to the idols, asnam. And remember we said it's غير عاقل. So when it's referring to like غير عاقل, جمع, غير عاقل, the ha takes its place. So it's not huma, or I'm sorry, it's not hum or hunna, but rather just the ha. So it refers back to asnam. So innaha, so it's the ha is referring back to the idols. So indeed the idols, or they, la tut'imu, they do not feed. Okay, ahadan wa la tasqi, and they do not feed anyone, nor can they, or nor do they tasqi, nor do they give drink. Okay, so they cannot give any food nor any drink to anyone. وَإِذَا مَرِضَ أَحَدٌ فَهِيَ لَا تَشْفِي. And when someone is sick, okay, or one gets sick, فَهِيَ لَا تَشْفِي, they cannot. He is again referring to the idols. The idols cannot tashfi, they cannot cure him or cure. وَإِنَّهَا لَا تُمِيتُ أَحَدًا وَلَا تُحْيِي. And indeed they do not give death. Okay, they cannot make someone pass away, anyone pass away. وَلَا تُحْيِي, nor can they make someone alive. Okay, nor can they give someone life. So these are the different things that we could, or the translation of this passage. And let's pick one of these. Okay, let's pick just this sentence over here. So we have ana a'budu rabbal alamin. This is pretty simple. So we have ana, okay, which is it's a pronoun which is detached. Okay, so it's ضمير منفصل. Okay, and it's also coming as mubtada. Okay, now ana is mabni, meaning it doesn't change. Okay, because it's a pronoun, so it's coming here as a mubtada. It's marfu over here, and a'budu is, you could say it's for emphasis, it's maybe for more stress, you could say too, but it's kind of like ana doesn't really need to be there. You could say a'budu rabbal alamin, right? I worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, or the Lord of the worlds. But it says I, and then you could say it's I is in the word a'budu as well. Okay, so a'budu again, you could say I again, right? So a'budu, so abada ya'budu ibadatan. right? So but a'budu would be uh, so it's fi'l madi. I'm sorry, fi'l mudari, and it's marfu, and the sign of it being marfu is the dhamma at the end, and its fa'il is mustatir, meaning it's hidden. Taqdiruhu ana. Okay, and so it's mutakallim, right? So I'm speaking myself, right? So it's in first person. So a'budu. Then rabba. Okay, rabba. You see over here, Rabb has the fatha at the end. So that means it's the mafulun bih. It's the object of a'budu. So who do you worship? Okay, or what do you worship? Rabba. Okay, Rabb, the Rabb, right? The Lord. Rabb al-Alameen. Okay, Alamina. So over here we have a mudaf ilayh relationship. So Rabb al-Alameen or Muraqab Idafi, it's also called. So the possessive structure over here. So mudaf is rabba, and that's why it's not rabbun, or I mean sorry, rabban, but rather over here it's rabba. And then alameen would be the mudaf ilayh. Okay, now Alameen is Jama Mudhakkir Salim. That means, so it takes a different pattern, and so you might have learned this in Arabic classes before. So, like for example, Muslimuna, Muslimina, Muslimina, right? So you wouldn't say, Muslimuna, Muslimani, okay, muslimina, right? For the in the jama case, you could say, when it's coming as jama mudhakkir salim, right? When it's a whole word, you could say it, the base form doesn't change, so it's not a broken plural, right? So when it's not a broken plural and it's mudhakkir salim, meaning it's all the three letters are intact and they're not kind of, you could say, shifted in any way or anything like that, then the signs of it being marfu, mansub, and majrur actually change, right? So the sign of a word being marfu would be the waw. So it would be alamuna, okay, alamuna. And if it's mansub or majrur, it would be alamina. And over here, the way or the reason why we know it's majrur, okay, is because, and the sign of it being majrur is the ya, right? Is because it's mudaf ilay, and we know that mudaf ilay is always majrur. Okay, so I hope that inshallah that makes sense. And if it doesn't, please make sure you put a comment, or you could email me at ilmscape@gmail.com, and I'll be glad to inshallah reply to your emails if you have any questions about this passage. Inshallah, next we'll cover the passage number 10. Jazakumullahu khairan for listening. Please like and share. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.